Hello, everybody. Welcome on into Out of Combat, the podcast after the stream for Casters and Cantrips. My name is Moves Like Jagger. I play Azric on the show, and we're joined by Nina, who plays the lovable Cooter, and currently Virtual Spectre, who's playing Core, who we are currently on a mission to save his other character, Hayden. In episode 27, we made it to the Gilded Atoll, and this place was not what I was expecting.
Not at all.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit of what I was expecting just from the name, but I'm glad that it was like more than what I was expecting. I didn't expect like exotic Vegas, which is I'm so glad that we got it.
Like, basically, is this place is Dubai?
Like,
turned up to 11.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, we finally made it. Guys, it's been like over a month since Hayden's been out of commission, like real time.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
We thought that he was going to be out for what, like 3 episodes or something.
Yeah.
I think what really hurts is we have so many sneaky rogue stuff that we need. And we need Hayden's skill, and he's not here. So it's very challenging trying to think of ways of not having a rogue in the party.
And then once we get him back, it's going to be all non-sneakies all the time. Because that's how things roll.
Yeah, with a location like this, it really, those characters that have high charisma scores, really
high charisma, high deception.
Got a chance to shine. And I said that at our little halfway break was like, this is if there was ever a place where Azric could use Hayden's help, it would be this place.
But it's also all the time too. But,
Mac playing Taj and you playing Azric, you guys carried some scenes hard. I felt like your characters were kind of built around these sorts of encounters.
We're built for lying and persuading, and this is the perfect place to do that.
Yeah. And everybody, this was pretty much entirely RP the entire time. And
it was,
I think we had some of our best RP moments so far here. A lot of fun scenes. The bathhouse was incredible. Everybody's moments in there were just fantastic.
And it all just fit as well. Like, it was kind of like everyone just had an opportunity to do something that, like, usually your character wouldn't have a chance to show that part of themselves. Or like, everyone's broke, and Kuda's just like, yes. Or like, poor Emmy is like, what do you mean we have to have a bath? This is ridiculous.
Kuda loves to indulge. That's beautiful.
She does, yeah. And she doesn't often get the opportunity to truly indulge.
Even after Azric's warnings.
Yeah.
Is actually on Core's character sheet, he has a 14 charisma score.
Damn.
But the problem is he has proficiency in like the intimidation part of charisma and not any of the persuasion stuff. So I was kind of like just played him as kind of backing off a little bit, especially. That's why I kind of came up with the idea of we'll just be the hired muscle, right? If we need to speak up at this thing, we will. So it was kind of nice just getting to sit back for a lot of moments and just watching everybody else work. It was pretty cool.
Was it kind of because you felt like this wasn't an environment where your intimidation tactics would work because they run so much on like coin and information and stuff like that?
Yeah, I don't feel like the location is the type of place where you can really strong arm in that way. It feels like the place where if you want to do strong arming, you have to have a big wallet and connections. That's how you're going to strong arm people. Not through like, I'm strong, you need to be scared of me, because then you probably get tossed off the place. Like,
they'll just like stab you and move on with their day.
Or just like make you leave. Like, just, you can't come back.
Yeah. Or like, if your intimidation fails in this type of environment, they'll just call the guards on you, and then we're screwed.
Yeah, like I feel like Core, his ability to like be a commanding presence would work much better on a place like the pirate island.
Mm.
Even though he's not a pirate, but he could have a presence there that would actually be effective, but not so much at this place. So
meanwhile, you lie, and they're just like, "Oh, come on, man!" And you're like, "Yeah, you're right. I was lying. I'm sorry."
Yeah, they're like used to that every day, though. That's how it happens all the time.
They deal with schmoozers and people trying to puff up their status, and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like Azure. Azure just trying to be a poser to mingle, but it doesn't work. So.
There was a moment where before we got our outfits and stuff and went to the party where there was that fortune teller that was gave Mac, her character, a message. I'm almost wondering if we didn't like let an opportunity for information pass there.
I think
seems like Max put that person there for a reason, and we just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, we're just like,
I don't know if you guys felt the same way about that. Like, I was like,
yeah. I feel like that too. Like every time, because it does feel purposeful every time he puts something in front of us. Oh, yeah. But then also 100%. Sometimes when you go after that carrot, the DM's like, it's kind of like a red herring sometimes. And then you're just like, oh, there's nothing there. And then so the next time it happens, you're just like, oh, this is just some crazy bitch. Whatever, man. I'm going to continue doing my drugs.
I do believe Max put that fortune teller for a purpose and a reason, not to be a red herring. And then the fact that she knew that who Taj is, because when Taj did the fortune teller, she was Sandy. But when we were walking, she was Taj. So like she knew she was Sandy. So there's that
didn't even occur to me in that moment. Yeah, because she was in disguise when she was doing that.
So there's a deeper level there that I was hoping Mac, the player, would engage in, because Azric's not going to go to a fortune teller when he's with Taj. Like Taj is the fortune teller. Yeah. Why would he go to a third party when he has Taj next to him? So as a character, I was like, I'm not going to engage with this fortune teller because I don't want to offend Taj.
Especially
maybe we'll see him again next week.
Yeah, since they went far enough to like do a message to Taj, like I was kind of hoping Mac would like bite on it and be like, "What's up with this?" Like, but it didn't happen. So,
but there was also a lot going on at that time too.
We're on our way to get outfits, and that's
So I think it's probably just one of those times where there's a lot going on, so it's a bit distracting because it's like we're getting the outfits, we have to work out where we're going, where are we staying. We're trying to like just shell out money to try to.
Yeah, I think it just caught me because like we've been there for like a day and a half now. And we really have gotten zero information. So I think in my player brain, I'm like trying to pick out like opportunities where Max might be trying to like throw something in our path.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I was like, oh man, but I totally get it. Yeah. Like we had already been doing a lot of stuff in the episode, and there's still more stuff to do. So
yeah, I think I had the same thing. Like my brain was like, oh, this might be a thing. And then I think I was trying to look at something on my character sheet or something. And so like the moment passed and it's kind of like, oh, I guess we're doing this now.
Yeah. And of course, Core's not going to be like, hey guys.
Yeah. Like we're not the ones who would have cared about it.
Yeah. Like Phil Jarn's not going to do it. They're too by the book. And
she's the only one who knows though, because she was the one who got the message, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have known anyway.
But as Max always says, Max always puts the tools for us to use, and it's up to us if we want to use it or not. So
yeah.
But I think we're in a good spot now, potentially, depending on what happens with Azure. Do you want to talk about that whole thing with that lady, that whole scene, that was pretty good.
It was so hard because obviously the the crew of the Unfortunate don't really have done much to their name other than we're under the wing of Blackbeak, which is like what I'm hoping if she investigates our crew that she'll find out that we are under the wings of Blackbeak and then maybe give us some notoriety for some potential jobs in the future. But yeah, definitely Azrael is very out of place as he's never been rich, doesn't know how to act around rich people, but pretends to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
Just planting them seeds.
Yeah. I mentioned that Kor's got some nobility in his background, but even this, like, that was like his family was nobility, but he really never left Escos for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he is not at all familiar with this type of like just enormous wealth everywhere. Like this is he went to like soirees and stuff when he was a child and like those type of mixers, but he was a kid. So he wouldn't have been any help here coaching Azric on anything.
I also just really want to go to Emmy's house now that we know exactly where that is.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see that.
We have the name. We don't have the location, do we?
Well, no,
she didn't really
but
say, yeah.
No, she said like the exact like city and like exactly where she was from and everything. But we didn't really have a chance to sit down and be like, so about that.
People, that's not common knowledge though. People don't never heard of this place before.
No,
like
but
nobody's
it's cool.
familiar with her people. So Cooter, like, I'm assuming when you get a chance, maybe in one of the next sessions, are you going to be like, hey, Emmy?
I want to pick all them brains. Yeah. Well, and the thing was, Cooter wasn't necessarily lying. Like, she wasn't lying. She doesn't know where she was born. Like, I think it's like somewhere vaguely on the character sheet. And I think Max probably assumed that I, as a player, just forgot where I was born and was just saying, I'm a child of the world. But in actuality, it was just her roundabout way of saying, I don't know. I was born somewhere and now I exist and I go and I travel. Like,
so did she just live on Osham for a while?
Yeah, like she's not originally from there for sure.
Yeah.
She just kind of found herself there.
Mm.
But that's also not where she lives right now.
So here's something we can discuss. Towards the beginning of the session, we were kind of like brainstorming motives for like who or why might have taken. Yeah. And I think you brought up potentially like him being something related to like his background.
Yeah,
like Hayden's parents,
like a prince. He's a bona fide prince.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so like
what do you think of like how real do you think that is? Because at this point, I'm trying to like. The only thing he's mentioned to you all is where he's from, and his family was like owned a merchant business. And Cooter,
Cooter knew her. Cooter had definitely heard of like Hayden's dad.
So, do you think that's probably
and he was like
most likely if like somebody's trying to get after his family's fortune or something through him, maybe?
Highly, I mean, who would pay 200 plat?
Yeah, that's the thing. That
is
kind of money
it's
absurd amount of gold.
It's an insane amount of money. That's why I'm like, as a player, do you even as a player with your understanding of Hayden's background, do you feel like there's something that's kind of being added to his background that you're like, damn, I didn't even know that I was that special?
I mean,
I'll give
as far as I know, and this is like a little tidbit in the Hayden. As far as I know, like I don't think like his dad had any enemies or rivals that I know of, that like business rivals, or maybe somebody he angered. None of that's to my knowledge, so I don't know.
I feel like we're gonna get just a really sick reveal about like.
I know we're gonna get like
Hayden's
a super
adopted
deep dive.
and he's the son of a god. That's why he's so dang sneaky.
He's definitely not adopted.
That's like
he's like some kind of.
Yeah, from what we know, your family disappeared, right? And no one really knows what truly happened. And they were extremely wealthy. I don't know if they're like this wealthy, but if they're going to pay 200 plat for Hayden, then maybe they're that wealthy.
They have a decent amount of money, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like Hayden probably has like a very large trust fund set up for him or like inheritance that was left behind. So,
like Kuda was definitely aware of like how influential his father was like among the merchants and all that kind of stuff. Like definitely someone that she heard of and was like, oh my God, you're his son? Wow. Wow.
When you said that, I was kind of like, yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, because there's nothing in his backstory or anything that I put that would lead me to believe like there's some, like he has some other type of enemies out there. So I'm leaning towards this has something to do with his family and their wealth or something. Maybe that his family had when doing business came across some thing that somebody wants. I don't know. None of that's on the character sheet.
I'm so excited to find out.
That's one of the great things about Max as a DM. Is like he has like all these layers and hidden secrets and things that we don't even know about, and she just gets inspired based on our backgrounds, what we've written, what we gave to him, and even just like making stuff on the spot. Like on campaign 1, Max, you take the reins, and Max made this insane, incredible arc for Vin. Yeah, I just like, and then he has all these like little nudges about my patron and like sprinkles them in. And then like now he's doing the you fucked around and found out now that like now my brother doesn't even want to talk to me. He wants no relations to me.
You've been disowned.
That hurt. That cut deep.
It was heavy.
Yeah,
because I was like, all right, here's my RP moment with Zildjarn, and we're gonna like kind of like make amends because he did Zildjarn wrong by forcing him to lie, and then now that he knows that I'm not with the Lotus King and found power elsewhere, it was just like, yeah, you're just a boss, and that's it. You're nothing to me now. So I was like, oh fuck.
I felt that cut real deep, and I wasn't even in the same bathtub.
And I think that goes to show how good Max has gotten about with his style of DMing, where we can have that scene where it just like cuts like a knife, and then he can flip, and then we're at Cooter and Emmy, and it's like
chaos,
straight comedy. Yeah. I'm constantly impressed with like how the best much movies. Better Max has gotten over the course of our campaigns at just like setting up scenes and being able to get into a character.
Well, the interaction between you and Taj, it was like Taj being the Southern Belle.
Oh yeah, her other character,
being pinchy cheekies with Core, and Core's just like going along with it, but hating every second of it.
It was very much that like couple dynamic where it's like the wife is so out there and the husband's just like done with it. Yes, dear. No, dear.
Yeah.
I'm glad she went for that because I didn't know how I was going to do those scenes with her. But so Mac actually kind of led the way on that. And when she kind of put that out there, and I was like, okay, we're going to go with that. And
Improv 101.
I think we got really good with yes and like improving and picking up on each other's cues. Just like,
definitely
playing so long together. So.
just experience and trust and stuff, getting a vibe. Mm-hmm. It's weird because it's hard to maintain that vibe online versus feeling everyone's energy in a room.
Yeah.
But after so much, I feel like it's definitely that's something that comes with practice is we start getting better at picking up each other's verbal cues. But also we've gotten a lot better at just putting our foot in and just seeing what happens. Because when you don't have that physical energy around a table and you have to kind of like, we have those moments that get a bit quiet or whatever, or like there's a moment where a few people want to try something. We've gotten a lot more comfortable with just like, oh, let me just try this thing. Doesn't work. That's fine. Let's move on. Like just it again, like, you know.
Yeah, we definitely miss that in-person dynamic where like you can easily feed off each other and read people's bodies, or because like, yeah, we do have moments where there's like silence because it's just like we're all waiting for we're trying to like not step over people's toes because we are like on an online environment.
Yeah, there's an added factor of like you got people watching and there's podcast versions, so you don't want to constantly be talking over somebody and stuff. So I definitely sometimes we're just all sitting there kind of like waiting to see if someone's going to do something.
The cameras,
especially
take
with the dice rolls.
Yeah.
When Max asks somebody to like roll something, it takes like a minute for someone to be like, okay, I'll do it this time.
Yeah, whoever feels the most uncomfortable the fastest is like the one who rolls.
I almost feel like Max should just be pick one of us sometimes for that and be like, Azric roll, Cora roll, Emmy roll. That way it's done.
Yeah.
And
he has started saying like anyone who wants to do a history check or a whatever check, like do that. So that's something as well.
Good too. Yeah.
Yeah. And we always know that Emmy's going to roll navigation unless she's not there. So that kind of stuff, at least we've like, there were definitely those times before where it was like there was a lot more space and a lot more air in those moments. But I think we're starting to get better at like, okay, this person rolls for that. This person rolls for that. And we'll all just be like, I'll do it.
Yeah. Stuff like either, Max can designate someone or we vote who's the random roller.
Yeah, the random roller.
I mean, like before the show, like, all right, like Nina, you're going to do the random encounter rolls. For this session,
which sometimes we don't know what the rolls are for. That's why, like, so we were like waiting to see, like, wait, what are we rolling on? But it just turns out it's like, oh, it's just the encounter of the day or something.
Yeah, but like you're saying, it's like we've definitely, as a group of people, have gotten better at just jumping in.
Just gonna get better and better.
Yeah.
Well, because we know that it's not it takes a long time to get used to. Like how you receive that as well. Like if you're just jumping in like if you're someone who just always jumps in and how other people feel about that versus like, oh no, we're just keeping things moving. So I think there's like a lot more of that now. And we'll know when like someone else is a little bit more low energy or a little bit more high energy and kind of like, what's the word?
Eat off each other.
Yeah.
Well, I think
like just account for that, I guess.
Well, that's why I enjoy playing with you a lot, Nina, is because I think with your experience and voice acting and stuff, you quicker than most of us a lot of times will jump into role play with Cooter. Yeah. Like Cooter will just say something and it'll kind of get the ball rolling.
Something
so,
random,
I can almost always count on you to like hop in.
Yeah, if it seems like Max is either waiting to see if we have anything more to say or if he's kind of just like waiting to see what we're going to do first, then it's kind of like, I don't even know what there is to say or where we are or where we're going, but it's at least, just that first. It's kind of like when you're writing a story and you see the blank page and you're like so overwhelmed by it that you can't write the first line. Mm-hmm. I feel like I just spit out the first line and then everyone's like, oh, yes, exactly. We're going this way. We're doing that. We're doing this. It's kind of like the first person to get to the buffet table. which is always me.
So
also,
well with your character, though. Like I expect Cooter
that
to
too.
just say things. Like,
yeah, I think that helps. I don't think I would do it. Like I definitely played another character that was a lot more laid back and a lot more like, I'm sick of everybody, y'all are all trash, like kind of thing. And she always just had like nothing to say. She didn't want to talk to anybody. So that was really hard for me as a player because I'm like, I need to get this moving, but my character wouldn't do that. So with Cooter, it's a lot easier because, yeah, as you said, she'll just like randomly say shit or think she saw something or whatever.
That's kind of like, it's been a little bit hard with Core since he's not a part of the crew and he's not like, he just wants to be done and return to Escos.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are a lot of moments where like if I was Hayden, I would jump in and like start talking, make suggestions, but Core's like, whatever, just like you guys decide what you're doing already. Like, come on.
He just wants to go home to Escos and he just keeps getting dragged on this journey to get Hayden back.
This is way more than he ever bargained for. Yeah.
When he gets back, there's no vacation. He's got to get back to work. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great session. And next week we'll find out because we finally made contact with the Whisper Network. No correlation with Whisper, one of our crew members.
So we have found out, yes. and
see if we can save Hayden somehow. And hopefully we don't go broke by the end of this arc.
It's right. Cooter's got an endless shell of coin. It's all good.
Excellent. But yeah,
first episode of 2024.
That's right.
Yeah.
First episode of 2024 happening in January 5th. Next Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Or if you're in Nina time, I think it's noon on Saturday.
Yeah, it's like 1 p.m. Saturday.
So if you're watching, listening, Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
And
Happy
holidays.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.